Name someone for whom you feel forced to buy a Christmas gift. I'm going to say... There's many possible answers here. I'm going to say mom.
Name a relative.
Yeah.
Lions Law.
Okay, so parents are number 3. Oh, Lord. Steampunk nudist. What a great name. So is that like your dick's hanging out, but you have like a top hat on and some gears on it?
You got a gear on your dong, basically.
Oh, my God. The dong gears. In-laws is ahead of parents?
Girlfriend.
Well, I figured that, like, spouse or, like, you know, relationship
Second
partner
spouse.
would be... Yeah, second spouse.
If you can
Second
get away
maid.
with that kind of thing. Whoa.
I figured that would be up there somewhere, but I figured universally more people have parents than spouses. Probably, I guess it depends how old they are.
Sometimes parents just don't understand, though.
That's what I've heard as well.
Also, boss was number 2. Name someone you feel you have to buy a Christmas gift for your boss. That's some fucking narcissistic asshole running the company, if you ask me. He should be the one giving you the gift.
That does happen. Like, you get, like, really friendly with, like, your coworkers. I hate it.
Dude, I have never purchased a Christmas gift for a coworker. The asterisk there is obligatory Secret Santa shit that I don't want to take part in the first place, but I have to because it's for morale. What about my morale, Kathy? Anyway.
Give it one shit, though.
I tell you, this bullshit 2 Pokemon system, when I was in 5th grade, the number 1 Christmas present I wanted the most was Pokemon Red or Blue. Christmas Eve comes. I always unwrap one present on Christmas Eve with my parents' approval. I unwrapped it. I expected it to be Pokemon. Was not Pokemon. That's okay. There's still a whole bunch of
bitter
presents.
ever since.
There's a whole bunch of presents tomorrow, right? Open up all the presents. No Pokemon. And admittedly, I was a very polite child. I don't know what happened. But my parents were like, you might be wondering why we didn't get you that Pokemon game. Well, we talked to the guy at Toys R Us, and he said if you want to get the game, you basically have to get both of them to experience it. So we decided that was like a scam, and we're not going to get you either. And I was like, that fucking Toys R Us guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. So then, like the next day...
He ruined your Christmas.
The next day, it was Boxing Day, which in Canada is like kind of our Black Friday type thing. And I was like, can we go to Toys R Us? And then I just bought Pokemon Red. Fuck you. Toys. It was probably the dude who sold it to me. It was probably the dude who said you need to have both Pokemon games. What am I gonna do? Get the second Game Boy and hook up a link cable to myself just so I can get Alec a fucking Zam? Fuck no. And now, what is your favorite Christmas dish? Yo, for me, it's about the unification of everything. You know, the fact that you get the turkey and the stuffing and the gravy. The meal is more than the sum of its parts. Wow, thank God for the HP up. However, if I had to take just one, I'm taking the mashed potatoes, and if you'll be so kind as to let me put some gravy on them, I would appreciate that. The mashed potatoes are the highlight of the Christmas meal for myself, I have to admit. Maelstrom Tier. Thanks for the subscription. The resub, I should say. Much appreciated. We're having lamb for Christmas. You know, you can have whatever you want for Christmas. It's or, you know, whatever holiday you choose to celebrate. It's your meal. I'm not going to say, oh, you have to have turkey. You know, you can have whatever you want, man. Enjoy yourself. It's your day. Turkey is not a Christmas eel. It's not a Christmas eel, that's for sure. It's not a Christmas meal. Look, don't push your meal preferences on me. In Canada, at least, turkey is very commonly consumed at Christmas as well as Thanksgiving. Sometimes at Easter as well. Look, I've lived on this earth for 27 years. I've lived through 27 Christmases at various different locations, at restaurants, at familial homes, distant relatives. Turkey is a Christmas meal. Many parts of the world. Eat lutefisk like a real man. I'm okay with not being a real man, if it means I don't have to eat lutefisk today. I've never had lutefisk. Look, I gotta be honest. I like pickled foods, fermented foods, and I like seafood, and I'm not one of those people who's ever been like, oh, I like fish, but just make sure it's not too fishy, because I really just want, you know, chicken. But, I still think that lutefisk might be a little bit more offensive than I can handle. You know, the Nordic countries don't fuck around when it comes to smelly-ass, you know, preserved foods. And I respect them for that. At the same time, stay away. You have a Thanksgiving turkey and a Christmas ham unless you're from Mars or some shit. Have you ever met somebody that's from Mars? Because, you know, I'm from, like, the country that is statistically, if I'm guessing where you're from, probably, like, directly adjacent to you, and you're telling me, like, whoa, turkey on Christmas, that's crazy, dog. I really doubt you have met the Martian, you know, Ridley Scott or otherwise. Oh, no. I don't want to pop strength. I really just want to keep the strength card for maybe, like, a devil deal or something. Oh, don't get hit. Oh, I probably should have been hit there. Holy shit, we lived. Yeah, let's go fight Hush. Hilarious. I'm gonna try to blow up this judgment back here. In the UK, we have turkey at Christmas. No, sorry, apparently that's wrong. You must be from fucking Mars. I'm not actually offended. I'm just trying to, you know... I just resent the idea that, you know, maybe you've lived in the same place your entire life and you're like, nobody eats turkey, you know, on Christmas. That's ridiculous. Well, you gotta get out of Asheville, North Carolina for a couple months. You know, have a Christmas in Gainesboro, Florida or something like that, and you might, you know, it'll open your eyes a little bit. They might eat alligator down there. I got no idea. Canadian Christmas is tourtière, maple syrup, and mashed potatoes. It's probably true in parts of Quebec. Let's not speak for the whole country, though. That's not, I've never had tourtière for Christmas. I would love to. It sounds like a nice change of pace. One year for Christmas, I had samosas. I was just feeling samosas, so I had samosas. Christmas dinner's whatever you want it to be, dog. You do you. It's the day on which you should separate from the need to fit society's mold. Exactly, you know? On Christmas, I have popcorn sandwiches. Hey, man, don't let anybody insult you for eating popcorn sandwiches on Christmas if you want to. I gotta admit, that sounds fucking gross. But if you do you, man. I'm not saying we deserve this. I mean, this is a pretty ridiculously overpowered start, but this run is probably shaping up to be A-okay. And anytime you start with Mega, I don't want to hear any complaining, alright? I don't want to hear any belly aching. People go, hey, you ding-dong. You got Mega, but you still took one hit. Mega is a golden gift. It's like a surprise birthday party. When you get a surprise birthday party, you don't say, oh, where's the Pokemon cards? I wanted Pokemon cards. You say, thank you very much for your time. And then you take the birthday money they give you when you go to the Toys R Us and you buy Pokemon cards, okay? You don't need them to do that for you. They're not delivery people. Although I will admit that for me personally, as an adult, when it comes to, like, Christmas or, you know, other holidays, my birthday, I don't really, like, need people to buy me stuff anymore. I'm at that age, and I've been saying this for a few years, but it's a slow transition, you know? I'm at that age where you pivot from Christmas being a net gain in terms of material possessions to a net loss in terms of material possessions. But I really appreciate getting stuff that is annoying to buy for myself. For example, I always thought it was so lame, you know, parents buy themselves or they'll buy their partner, like, socks and underwear. I'm into it, man. First off, that sounded a little weird, but I am into it in the sense that it saves me from having to go out and buy those things for myself. I'm like, not only did you buy me socks, so I saved a little bit of money, I don't have to buy the socks for myself, but I don't have to go sock shopping. You've essentially bought me a day off from sock shopping, and we all know how miserable that process can be. It's totally not just walking into your local, you know, Sears and then picking out whatever sock or underwear is on sale and then buying as many of them as you think you need. It's much more of a hassle than that, as we're all aware.
Hey, how's it going?
Like, to be fair, I'm 27, old enough to have to actually think about how old I am for at least a brief second. And my parents have gotten to the point where they're like, first off, you old, son. Like, but also, we're not gonna give you a gift. You got a job. You don't have to get us a gift. We're not gonna get you a gift either. And I was like, thank God.
Wow.
Someone finally said it. Why are we wasting all this time buying each other shit we don't need? Let's just hang out.
Where's your holiday spirit?
Yo, that's corporate America talking, Rob, using you as a conduit.
You know what? I appreciate that aspect of it. There is still something magical about Christmas and gifts.
Yeah, but there's something magical about Christmas spending time with your family. But there's nothing magical about gifts.
Everyone hates each other in every family. There's no reason. Nobody has any magic in their family.
The only gift that I like getting is a gift that stops me from having to buy something that I have to buy but take no pleasure in buying. Socks and underwear. Get socks and underwear? Thank you for saving me a trip to Sears and being like, I don't understand the difference between these two types of boxer briefs.
I feel like I want to buy you a gift now.
I can't stop you from buying a gift, but...
You can refuse it, but I hope you wouldn't.
Well, I would not refuse it. Instead, no matter what you give me, if it's the greatest gift, I'll be like, oh man, thank you, this is awesome. If you gave me the worst gift of all time, I'd be like, oh man, awesome, thank you. It's going to be the same, and you're going to live with that uncertainty for the rest of your life.
All right, maybe I can crowdsource what the exact perfect gift is for you.
Please do not try to crowdsource like a deep psychological profile of me. I don't know why you would hate me enough to do that.
It's just magic cards, I think. I just buy you a box of magic cards. You couldn't be upset about that.
If you buy me a box of magic cards, I'd be like, sweet. But then when you left the room, I'd be like, oh, more magic cards to sort.
You gotta leave me with that dissonance, don't you? You can't just let me have it.
Yep. I would have just rather had the $100, honestly.
Wow.
You guys are letting corporate America dictate how you feel about the holiday season.
What are you gonna spend $100 on things that you buy for
whatever I need to spend it on.
You put it on a frame over your bed.
Whatever.
No, see, you gotta buy things people wouldn't buy themselves.
Like what?
Yeah.
Well, back when I had money, which was a fun time. My stepdad loves like whiskey, but he never likes to buy the nice whiskey because it's too expensive. So I bought him some nice whiskey, and he freaking loved it, and he was like, that was like the greatest gift I've ever gotten.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm more about the consumable gifts, honestly. Like, if somebody got me, like, a big pack of beef jerky, I'd be like, dude, that was a sweet gift. That was a good gift.
Dude, jerky's awesome. Jerky's expensive, though.
You know what?
It is very expensive.
You have twisted my arm. If somebody bought me, like, 3 kilos of beef jerky, that's something I'd never buy for myself, but I'd be happy to have.
Exactly,
Those
right?
are the good gifts, man.
Yeah.
That's a quality gift right there. Like that's I mean, you give me a blender, which I could use a blender, but I'd rather have the beef jerky, to be honest.
I'm gonna be back in like 2
What are
seconds.
what are your guys' feelings on eggnog? By the way.
It's great.
Nah, it's fine every once in a while, but like I don't want to eat a bunch of eggnog.
All right, well, I think your main problem is you're eating it. Like, you should probably not eat the eggnog.
Are you telling me what to fucking do?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Last time I checked, you were not my mother.
That's a good point.
But who knows if you are my father?
I don't really.
Aren't you older than me?
No.
You could be somebody's father and be
Just
older
kidding,
than
fucker.
I don't
Yeah,
really
that's
like
true.
eggnog.
Did you say you really like it, or you really
don't.
don't like
I
it?
don't really like it.
That's ironic.
It's really so thick, so thick and creamy.
It is very thick and very creamy.
I mean, I like them round, thick, and juicy, but I don't like eggnog really.
I'm a huge eggnog fan, to be honest.
A huge eggnog fan. All right, what
I
are you guys'
really
opinion?
love eggnog.
What about, like, do you like your eggnog spiked? Because people talk about, like, eggnog, like, oh, yeah, let's get fucking drunk off eggnog.
Yeah, it's
But,
usually
like, I've never fucking had alcoholic eggnog.
Maybe people just like rum.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just an
I
excuse
like it
to have
spiked or
rum.
not.
I prefer it not spiked, to be totally honest with you. I'm not a fan of the spiked eggnog.
What's
Because,
the-
like,
the-
the thing is, if you have too much, then you're puking up white, milky
Well,
goop.
that you know.
You gotta limit
wrong
it.
with that?
Yeah,
Yeah, know your limits. Stay within it.
I mean, but, like, when you have milk with alcohol, it's a bad choice.
No.
White Russians are pretty good.
Yeah, White Russians are amazing.
Yeah, they are
You guys
pretty good.
14 years old?
Are you still making me mad
Are
all
you
the time?
drink shaming?
I am drink shaming.
Stop drink shaming.
Drink, stop drinking.
I just turned into Mumble Man. What was that?
You're right, Josh. You having a
I
birtation?
don't know. I think I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I wanted to talk. I was at the grocery store the other day. I'm going to ask you all a question. How many squares are in an advent calendar?
Like the enemies from
No, the ones
XCOM 2?
the ones you open up every day in December to get chocolate.
Yeah, I
don't
can't
know.
really remember.
Are you fucking is this a Canadian thing?
I think it is. Maybe.
Advent
I don't know.
calendar?
I
You
haven't
guys
seen
don't-
one since I was like 4.
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, okay, I don't know. You guys are in a weird world because everybody in chat is like 24. 24 or 25. Because you get one every day of December until either Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I was at the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
I was at the grocery store. They had a Minions advent calendar. They had a Spider-Man advent calendar. 31 days.
That's bullshit.
The advent calendar. Like, it's like, you know, in everybody, or there's something about Mary.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody loves Mary. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. Harlan Williams is in that. And he's talking about, like, 6-minute abs. And he's like, check it out. I'm going to make 5-minute abs. Why would you want to take 6 minutes to make your abs? So you can only take 5 minutes. It's that, but for advent calendars. They're charging the same price, but they're like, check it out. This one goes to New Year's. Why would you get the shitty advent calendar with 24 days when you can get this one? It's got 31.
Do these have chocolate in them?
Yeah, they all have like the shittiest, chalkiest chocolate you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, I just know you love the beer advent calendar, so I thought.
And those are 24 days. Because I mean, how are you gonna make a case with 31? It just doesn't. You can't carry that home from the store.
You gotta explain this to me. Like, what is an advent calendar exactly? Is it like a box you get, and you get like a piece of chocolate every day?
It's the original Loot Crate for Christmas.
It is the original Loot Crate. Every day you get a different piece of chocolate that's exactly the same.
Well, it's kind of fun because like you open a little door and there's like, here's your chocolate, right?
Yeah. And you're like, oh, this one's got like a little
fucking chocolate. Honestly,
No,
you're an adult. You can maintain
got something to
your
look forward to.
This one's got like a little Santa Claus on it. Oh, that one's got like a little snowman on it.
Rob, how? I've never seen one in my life.
Oh my god, you guys have got this too good.
That was my first good game all day.
You guys have your own advent calendars? We just buy them, or we buy chocolate from the store and put it into an advent calendar that's reusable. See, that's cool.
Oh.
Then you got like 24 different kinds of chocolate that's actually like good, instead of just like, oh, got home from school, there you go, it's the same piece of chocolate like from the fucking garbage can in the Kinder factory that the last one was.
What if you're like allergic to almonds though and day 13 kills you?
No, you don't have to worry about that. Like, these are so like mass marketed, it's actually just like, here's the worst chocolate we could imagine. It has like 2% chocolate, no nuts.
I meant the person who self-serves their chocolate.
Oh, well then you shouldn't buy some that have nuts in it if you're allergic to nuts. And now, what is your Christmas present meta for different family members, if you don't mind me asking? Well, this is a great topic for conversation. We're at that age now where I don't know, I won't speak for you guys, but I'm definitely buying more Christmas presents. That was not a good pop. Than I'm receiving. Is this an accurate assessment of adult life?
Not me, because I'm scummy, I guess.
Well, you know what?
I just bought a house, so I'm like trying to be conservative.
Roll it as long as you can, as far as I'm concerned. But definitely, like...
my meta is, real quick, Lisa buys the presents, and I include myself on the gift giving.
I'm in exactly the same boat, actually. Kate buys the presents, and then I sign the card.
There we go. Yep.
But I kind of feel like I'm over buying presents for people that also buy presents for me, as weird as that sounds. I feel like we're just exchanging goods that we could have just bought for ourselves and maybe liked more.
You're trying to squeak out the $1 extra over the other person.
Well, geez, I don't know.
Yeah, because gift giving is just a freaking value exchange, right?
But I'm like, I get that.
It's exchanging money in hand.
Gift giving is like a nice thing to do, but is it really? Like, if you buy me a $30 gift and I buy you a $30 gift, wouldn't you have rather just bought your own $30 gift? Okay, I see what that does now.
The point is you're supposed to be making some sort of gesture towards something that the person wouldn't have thought they wanted for themselves. Because you know them like, so well.
Yeah, but usually you just end up getting something that, I don't know, unless you told them you wanted, that you might not want.
But then people just go like, oh, the thing is, you have to get them something they would never get for themselves. But then, isn't this just like an elaborate, like, guilt laundering process now? If two people buy each other things that they wouldn't have otherwise bought because it would have been irresponsible? Like,
because they're trying to be fiscally responsible or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand, I'm not trying to
By the way, I'm not making, at the start of Reservoir Dogs where Steve Buscemi is like, oh, I don't tip because I don't believe in tipping. I'll still buy presents for people. I'll exchange gifts and feign enthusiasm. But at the same time, when it comes to the conversation, I'm like, let's just, what do we cut out the middleman? Why don't we buy each other gifts or buy gifts for ourselves and then hang out?
Yeah.
That would be nice.
And eat some pie and shit.
I
Cut off people's ears.
really thought you were going to say eat some pussy.
Steve Buscemi's a wild dude. He's probably had that kind of a day.
I guarantee he loves
Have
going
some
away.
friends over,
No,
eat
we
some
gave
pussy.
that up for cheese, okay?
Hey,
Sorry.
maybe you did. I never agreed to anything.
Cash is the gift card to everywhere. But yeah, you never just give someone an envelope full of cash. You're just lining the pockets of the Hallmark Corporation.
Grandmas do.
That's true. Grandmas do, dude.
Grandmas are like, here's $20.
Grandma used to give me a box of chocolate-covered cherries, and then a $5 attached to that on the top.
Ooh.
Take down.
Grandma sounds like a cherry.
And then I would have to gently peel the tape off the $5 bill if I didn't want to rip it in half.
That's fair.
They'll still accept it if you ripped it.
They'll still take it.
I think it's as long as you gotta have like 3/4 of the bill,
Something like that.
and then it's all
It's a
good.
federal offense to destroy it, too, so I'm sorry to tell you this, but Grandma's going away for a long time.
She didn't pay her taxes. Why didn't she pay her taxes?
Too busy buying these chocolate-covered cherries, man. I have an honest question. What's the difference between chorus and choir?
Choir sounds fancier. I'm not sure there is a difference.
Well, choir is just like the same thing but religious, isn't it?
I thought we had a choir at our school that was a-religious.
Oh.
Irreligious?
I think that's right. I don't know.
Either one doesn't matter to me.
So choir and chorus are the same thing. All right.
As far as I'm concerned, yeah.
Maybe it's a Canadianism.
I've heard them both. I've heard them used interchangeably. I'm sure there's probably some silly thing that Reddit knows about that I wouldn't know.
I hate those
About
damn
Latin?
Redditors.
I don't know. They just know everything about everything.
They do, yeah. They found that one guy in Boston that one time.
Yep. And that was the last we ever heard of that. Open and shut case.
Secular. That's another way to say it, is secular.
Oh, I mean, we did. I mean, you ever, like, I was in choir, believe it or not, before I entered puberty. And,
Don't
like,
believe it.
when you're singing
believe
Christmas songs, that ain't secular, man. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, secular. Jingle Bells, secular. Oh Holy Night, not secular. Highly not secular.
The funny way they got around that in my school, because I went to public school, was they would just basically do a bunch of different religious songs from different denominations. So it's like, oh, well, we can't just pick one, so we'll just do all of them, and then nobody will feel bad.
You sang like
So
the
what
dreidel
languages
song?
were you- Yeah.
We did some Hebrew stuff as well.
That's
and-
pretty
Oh,
cool, actually.
You know what? We did dreidels in our school too. Actually, now that I think about it,
We did not.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not talking about just singing "Oh Dreidel."
Well, yeah, no,
okay.
but you know the dreidel song, the dreidel, dreidel, dreidel.
Yes,
I made
that's-
it out of clay,
It's not really like a choir song, though. Is what I mean.
and when it's dry and ready, a
Oh
dreidel,
Dreidel, I shall play. Yeah.
Yeah. Dreidels are awesome. That's like Beyblades before Beyblades.
Hell yeah, dude.
Except, religious, and that's probably offensive to.
Nah, dude.
No.
I believe when Moses invented the dreidel, that's what he said. Is like, wouldn't it be fucking sick if we could rip a couple of these together in a curved arena and see which dreidel lived?
They have like supernatural powers and shit too. Like if you ever watch the show, it's like crazy. Like they fucking turn into wolves and like dinosaurs and shit in battle, and it's like you're spinning some tops.
Whenever
Why
I
does
would
this-
talk to my Jewish friends about Dreidel, they all talked about Dreidel like it was Beyblades. Like they were fucking into it.
Dreidels is sweet.
And I agree, it is pretty sweet. I had fun
Yeah.
watching Dreidels go by,
Yeah.
flying through the sky.
I mean, I gotta say, like, traditional Christmas stuff, some of it's pretty dope, but some of it is super lame. Like, you ever get those Christmas crackers that you pull on, and then it's like tradition that the world's shittiest joke and worst toy is inside of it? Like, I had one this Christmas, and I pulled it apart, and I got a little, like, ant-sized magnifying glass. First off, what the fuck? Like, it was such an obtuse thing that Kate and I at first were like,
is this place gonna have like a murder mystery later? Like, is this part of, is this like a prop? Like someone's gonna get up in front of the restaurant and be like, if you've had a magnifying glass, you're tonight's detective. But no, it was just like a horrible toy. And then the joke was like, Mother, hey son, how'd you do at your first day of school? Son, not that good, I suppose. They told me I have to come back tomorrow. People are paying like $1.50 per Christmas cracker for this? This is horrible.
We don't have Christmas crackers in the U.S. I actually thought that when I had heard my European friends talk about it, they were talking about literal crackers that you eat. So, you know, once I watched enough Ashton's videos, I understood what it was, but it seems like a real waste of time to me.
They're always bad. I mean, I guess maybe it's a Commonwealth thing.
2 months in a row for Michael L. Fox. He says, tell Ryan, suck my fucking cock. So,
all right. You know what, mister? One of these days I just may.
But yeah, that's a big British thing. So I guess that's, you know, your relations to the Queen and all that. You know, that's gives you
the Christmas crackers are garbage. I've probably opened, I don't know, maybe like 12 in my entire life, and I've never been happy with what I got.
Well, there's another British Christmas thing too, where they in the stockings they put like Satsumas in there.
Yeah, no, I think that's where the Terry's chocolate orange thing comes from. It's like,
yeah,
you know, oranges are dope.
Just says the giant paper clips you get in the crackers are great. You get giant paper clips.
I've never seen a giant paper clip. That sounds like
weird, man.
That's some posh shit right there. Sorry, I wasn't buying, you know, Tesco premium Christmas crackers. Just getting whatever they have behind the cash register.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm with you, Nick. I actually thought those had crackers in them. They don't have crackers.
Yeah. They have no cracker in them. There's no food. It just, you pull on it and there's like a shitty little firework or, you know, firecracker that goes off.
Everyone I've ever seen recorded has never had a real sound. It was always just like the sound of cardboard ripping.
There's about I'd say like a 25% chance you get it to pop. Most of the time, you just pull so hard because you're like an adult human being that you rip the cardboard off, and then later you have to pull on them and then like trigger the, you know, the little flare inside of it.
Okay. That sounds real
fun,
stupid.
Sounds more fun than getting a fucking orange in your stocking. Like, oh, I can't wait to see what I get for Christmas. Oh, it's an orange.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine living in like the 19th century and getting an orange for Christmas? Like, what an idiot.
I don't know. I have simple taste sometimes. Like, last night, I just had a whole bunch of bread and some cheese, and I'm like, I could be really happy if this is what I had.
You know, I'm with you on that, but like, if you're gonna get me something food like for Christmas, you know, get me like a big bag of jerky or something, you know, something I'll enjoy. Not an orange that you could go, I walk down the street, pick up an orange for like, you know, 30 cents.
Live in a world where you have easy access to oranges. Not everybody feels that way.
Oh, that's probably
true. Round 4, I think so. Robert, name something you see that makes you realize it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Snow?
Give us your answer.
That's a great answer.
That is a great answer.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
I actually Snow, number 1. It's not going to be carols, though, because you got to see it.
You can see Christmas
You can
carolers.
see the carol singers.
Guys, Rob, want to talk about Christmas? And
Yeah, I think he said he can't wait for Christmas.
I cannot wait. Christmas is the best time of year.
Dude, I like the Legends answer, which is just drugs in all caps.
Nice.
Christmas couldn't be any further away than it is right now. Like, it couldn't be any further away behind us or any further away in front of us.
The day after Christmas is the better answer.
Every day from now until the 25th is slightly further away from Christmas, Bear.
Every day is Christmas.
Every day we stray further from God's grace.
That's also true, yeah.
All right. Kate, name something you see that makes you realize it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Christmas lights.
Christmas
lights.
Yeah,
The lights of Christ.
That's number 2.
Yo.
Jesus said, light up these lights. These are my eyes.
Jesus said, keep it lit and stay woke, fam.
Yeah.
Bear, name something you see
Stay
that
woke,
makes you realize it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Decorations? No, wait, that's part of lights, isn't it?
I was thinking decoration. Oh, it's lights slash decoration.
Yeah, how about Christmas trees?
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's hope it's there.
Number 3, trees.
What's your
baby.
Yeah, I bet number 4 is carol singers, dude.
You know what? Carolers.
Show us the
Yeah.
answer.
Or the
that's an
Santas
X.
that.
Sorry.
You know what's bullshit? When I was a kid, you know those people would stand outside and ring the bell and ask for donations? They dress up as Santa. Now they don't anymore. So you know what? Fuck you, homeless people. You don't get anything.
What? That's the Salvation Army.
Hey, it's a strong opinion, but it's fair.
Exactly.
The thesis statement to that story is "fuck you, homeless people. You don't get anything." Quote
Right, yeah.
Rob, 2017.
Rob wants them to blow like 10% of their operating budget on Santa costumes.
They better. Sons of bitches.
All right.
Oh my god.
Nick, name something you see that makes you realize it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
The carolers. Oh, the music, the radio, the stuff on the music, the songs that are playing.
It says
That's,
C, though.
you don't see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that's the issue.
Yeah, the stuff on the music on the radio there, on the radio.
No.
Yeah.
Turkey?
The wrapping paper station at the mall.
Might be a bit of a stretch.
You got a song at the end.
The wrapping
Beginning
paper
to look a
station
lot
at
like
the mall.
Christmas. The wrapping station at the mall.
Is that the Animaniacs song?
That was supposed to be. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but really fast.
The wrapping station at the mall.
But you don't see Santas though. Santas are
Elves.
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 Yeah, elves.
Christmas
Yeah.
movies on TV.
I'm just gonna
The
say
elves that were out of work
Santa.
because they didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
But
say
you don't
Santa.
see Santa.
You see
Santa
Santa
sees
everywhere.
you,
though.
It's at the
Santa.
mall, yeah.
Santa sees you.
Santa Claus is coming to
Hail
town.
Santa.
Hail Santa!
Oh, that's an X.
It becomes Christmas season when you get to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, and then Santa comes out at the end, and he's like, "Oh,
That's
ho,
the
ho."
Macy's Thanksgiving Day
Robert,
parade.
name something,
well, that's good
name
point.
something you see that makes you realize it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh,
Ask me?
Yes.
fireplace maybe.
Sales.
Shit!
There's a huge cloud of shit coming.
Fireplace?
Ice rinks?
Boris Yeltsin.
Ice
Borat.
rinks.
Survey says. Sorry.
Eh.
Your answer is
Damn it!
The other family has a chance to steal.
The bottom of every bottle.
One answer from you to
Chad
steal.
Kroger in
What
chat.
will it be?
Ouch. Ouch.
What does the
Crowded
What's
malls.
the answer?
Number 4, crowded malls.
You
Yeah,
got
that's
it.
bullshit.
Crowded malls.
Steal the
You're gonna see Santa at those malls.
Yeah, definitely true.
Yeah, why do you think the crowd is there?
He's asked. Oh,
Sales.
343
But
guilty
who goes
spark.
to malls?
I used to.
349 guilty spark.
yeah.
I guess in the year 2000 I did too.
That's one of my favorite levels of the original.
Every year, I still go and sit on Santa's lap and tell him what I want for Christmas.
That's not Santa, buddy. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, it's not in the mall anymore.
Ex-con.
He's moving location.
Work
I
release
keep having to
program.
go to Hank's house every year.
What's it about?
Every year it gets
Oh my
harder to
God.
balance on his lap, too.
We're gonna head down to the next floor, and I'm gonna go peep my Skype conversation. Start the Isaac episode. 0 messages. 8 minutes 37 seconds. 3 messages. I see one. This is my own, unique anxiety and foible. I'll admit. I see one message on Skype. Nothing to worry about. Probably just someone saying "Hello, Ryab." Not to name names. Sinvicta. I see 2 messages. I go, you know what? It's probably Mathis talking about amiibos again, and a Henlo Ryab. I see 3 messages on Skype. I go, oh no. Something's unusual. Something's out of the ordinary. I see 5 messages on Skype. I go, 5 golden rings. 4 review codes, 3 unexpecteds, 2 amiibos, and a Henlo Ryab from Sinvi. Get it? It's a 12 Days of Christmas. Can you engineer a song more annoying than the 12 Days of Christmas? I feel like people, I might not be the first person to espouse this opinion, by the way, but because we're kind of like indoctrinated with Christmas songs when we're young, I feel like we don't judge them with the same metrics that we judge other music. You know, we're like, yeah, I don't really like Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly, fa 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 la 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 la, over and over. A little repetitive, but it reminds me of being a kid, and the Christmas season as a kid is so magical, and you know, you're like, the song's not that great, but you only hear it once a year. It reminds me that presents are common times, for good tidings for all, for you and your kin, etc., etc. I'm gonna try it, obviously. We need to roll the dice on stats a little. Genuinely, like, you're gonna say, what about that LMFAO song that goes shots, 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 shots? Sure, not my favorite song ever made. Definitely, I would level with you on that one, but the 12 Days of Christmas is not repetitive. It's recursive, which is so much worse. It's like, you know, if you run the math, you hear "and a partridge in a pear tree" something like 13 times. And then at the end, as if it were not enough, they do a refrain where they go, "and a partridge in a pear tree." You're like, I know. You said it 12 times already. You don't need the coda. Dakota! Okay, what do you got for me here? Ooh. Well, we're just about to leave this floor because we're behind schedule, but it's the thought that counts. I'm not a big fan of Christmas songs. I used to take a hardline stance to "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. That song, I will cut it some slack, because it's an original Christmas song that is actually, like, sort of listenable. You know, it tries. Most of the other songs are just like, I mean, I respect that they're from, like, the 1950s. There's some other good ones. White Christmas is a totally fine song. Nothing wrong with that. Just the ones that get me are like, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. His name's Santa Claus, he likes Santa Claus, presents for me. You know, like, you gotta try a little harder. Give me Halloween music over Christmas music any day of the week, man. Maybe because I've heard it less, but, like, still. So this is just not a good run right now. Oh, dude, never mind. It's actually, like, alright now. Still wish I hadn't taken experimental treatment, but the stats, you know, they've improved quite markedly as a result of that cricket's head. Santa Claus is coming to town. It's like, get over it, dude. They should make Halloween, because, like, I'm not trying to pull the veil back here at all, alright? But all of, Christmas music buys into the Christmas mythos of, you know, Santa Claus and, you know, it snowing being a good thing instead of a nightmare for road safety and etc., etc. But, like, Halloween music should be like that. Halloween music should be like, you know, they talk about the Monster Mash and they're like, oh, look at all these friendly monsters. Hell no. I'm gonna take it, of course. The Monster Mash should be like, sorry, like, Frankenstein's monster is gonna take you in your sleep. It's Halloween. Nothing's safe. If we're gonna adhere to the standards of Christmas music, I think we should apply that to all holidays. It's just my personal viewpoint on the issue, at least. People are gonna think it's curmudgeonly. I don't think it's curmudgeonly. There is no other music, and not every radio station does this, and I appreciate when radio stations don't. And I think it's also fine that there is, like, one radio station in every city or town that is, like, starting right after American Thanksgiving, which for some reason we still observe, at least on a symbolic level up here. It's Christmas music. It's Christmas music until the 26th, you know, of December. That's fine. I don't have to listen to it. I'll exercise my right. You know, it's like, I make my living on the internet where you're subjected to anonymous criticism all the time. I very much subscribe to the idea. I think we'll take this just because it's not as good for a daily, but I think it could lead to some cool tier effects if we get the right kind of setup. I would never go to, like, a Twitch streamer's, part of this is because I'm visible, I guess, but I would never go to, like, a random streamer and decide I don't like it and then start talking in chat like, wow, your stream sucks. Why do you do this? It sucks. You know, I'd much rather just leave and watch one of my, like, 15 friends who also streams and then be yelled at for being bad at Slay the Spire in their chats. You know, it's a vicious cycle. You know, it rolls downhill is what I'm trying to say. But, like, you know, if you don't like it, but it's harmless, go do something you do like. You know, life's too short. That's how I feel about Christmas music. Then again, I am using my platform to denigrate it as much as possible. Look, the whole point of this anecdote is that I don't respect Christmas music. But I think that because we listen to it as youngsters, when, you know, we're a little less critical, it kind of like worms its way into our brain, and when we hear the 12 Days of Christmas, most people go, it's not my favorite song, but it's not that bad. I think it may actually be like the worst song that's the most popular. It's not like anyone's going around requesting it. Get a wedding dance in June. Hey, can you play the 12 Days of Christmas? That's my jam. That's a good character. Whenever I say that's a good character, the subtext is it's actually kind of a bad character that's great for one bit only. But yeah, this is a new character I'm workshopping. It's a guy, and he just unironically loves Christmas music, but can't get anybody to play it for him outside of the December months, aka December. So we shouldn't have stepped on the spike there. I think that's a very justifiable reaction you might have had. Hey, great song, dude. I love Dua Lipa. You know, she's got that, you know, I got new rules. What did she say? I got new rules, I keep them. Something like that. I listen to the radio when I drive from time to time. Just stay hip and contemporary so I'm not aged out of an industry that I enjoy. Dude, I love Selena Gomez. Her new track is so good, can't keep my hands to myself. You know what else is a great song? Silver Bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Hear them ring. Oh, this is my favorite part. A ding-a-ling. I love when songs use an onomatopoeia. I resist the notion, I'm gonna dispute in the final like 2 or 3 minutes of this run, the notion that I'm a curmudgeon for not liking Christmas music. I like the holiday season. I really do. I just like, there's no other time of the year, because it's the most wonderful time of the year, when, if you ever go to like a mall, anywhere on earth that's playing the same song over and over. Like, there's no other month that's like, I guess there's like summer jams, but it's not really like the same. We've been listening to the same 20 or 30 songs, adding like one every 15 years, since I was a kid. I get that it's a tradition, but it's 8% of the year is dominated by novelty music? That's a lot, man. But again, I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I'm just... Don't, oh, look at Scrooge here, doesn't like 12 Days of Christmas. It's just a bad song. You can say it's a bad song and still like Christmas, unless, do you work for like a freaking Christmas jingle corporation? The last good Christmas song that became popular came out in like 1993. And it seems modern as a result. Like, if I'm gonna be paying out of my anus for like real estate or rent, I want to never experience snow except one magical day a year, and everybody's happy to see it.
Yeah. So New York.
No, quite the opposite.
New York actually usually doesn't snow. It snowed a lot this year, but usually it's like 1 or 2 times a year.
I don't know about that. You ever see a movie about Christmas?
It's true. Well, yeah. Seen lots of them.
They always have snow.
True, because every New Yorker's dream is to have a white Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, but I think I've only had one white Christmas in my entire life.
I've had a white Christmas in Houston, so that's wild.
That's pretty crazy.
I've had like probably 26 white Christmases. I just like,
that's a lot.
I can't imagine like you were like, hey, yeah, I bought a place. It was $1 million. And then from November or October to March, you're like, I can't go outside. It's minus 15. It's like, I feel like the government should be like, you don't pay tax that part of the year. Until we build the bubble that stops the snow from falling, you don't have to pay tax in the winter.
There are people being like, that's not true. I've lived here my whole fucking life.
I just want to see the AccuWeather data, okay?
There have been 2 blizzards in my life here, so that happens sometimes. But usually it's like 1 or 2 times a year.
Because it snows here 1 or 2 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
in Boston, however, that fucking snows like a monster. So, I can see you there.
Are you serious? It only snows in the city 1 or 2 times a year?
I'm skeptical. Is all I just want to see the AccuWeather data.
I mean, I'll believe it because of the way the mountains are.
Well, if you've lived here your whole life, then the AccuWeather data will doubtlessly back you up, and you got nothing to worry about.
Well, my whole point
I'm sure it will.
I live 3 hours north of you. We get snow all the time, but that is actually plausible given the way the land is.
Yeah, when I went to college in Potsdam, New York, like way upstate, like winter literally just meant snow. Now it is snow. This is snow season where snow is all the time. But in New York City, it's not like that at all.
Just be cool. Walking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas honey. Sorry, I know a lot of people, myself included, prefer not to hear Christmas music before. I mean, some people, I think the rule tends to be like before November. I actually would say before December. It depends on, if you're in America, I guess. If you're in America, you celebrate American Thanksgiving. You say no Christmas music before Thanksgiving. I think that's a fair thing to say. I have a couple, I don't have rules about holidays. I don't really care how you choose to celebrate them as much as I've made my preferences very clear, I think. There are a few holidays I don't like very much. Halloween is one of them, but, have a scare-tacular October nonetheless. St. Patrick's Day is another big one. Those are the 2 big ones, to be honest with you. But the one thing that annoys me about Christmas is just that Midas touch. I love it. The one thing that annoys me about Christmas is merely the fact that it has its own music dedicated to the holiday. I get that it's part of like being in the festive season and whatnot. Been down this road many times before. Occasionally. And just recognize is all I ask that this is the Christmas defense. If you ever get accused of, or if you ever suggest like, oh, I wish they wouldn't put the decorations up so early. Oh, thank you. I heard a very loud shout. I left the refrigerator door open. It has happened. My noise-canceling headphones meant I didn't hear the alarm. Anyway, what was I saying? So now, it's not good optics when you're having like an old guy rant that makes you seem like you're 100 years old, and you go, I'm not an old man, and then your wife goes, hey, you left the refrigerator door open, Grandpa. But anyway, I'm going to continue because if anything, I lack a lot of self-awareness, so it doesn't really bother me. All I'll say is if you ever go, I wish they wouldn't put the Christmas decorations up in July, there's always going to be somebody out there that owns Elf on Blu-ray that's going to be like, why do you hate the Christmas season? It's not like that. It's just, really, do I have, for 8% of the year, do I have to be exposed to the same 14 Christmas songs? It's not like a major quality of life problem. It's just the sort of thing where you go, nah. It's just the sort of thing where you go, if it applied to any other holiday, I think people would start to take an issue with it. If literally October was like just Thriller and the Monster Mash over and over, I think after like a year of that, people would be like, I'm kind of sick of hearing the Monster Mash. And I'll tell you what, dude, I am sick of hearing, later on by the fire, or I'll inquire, a beautiful sun will happen tonight, I'm walking in a winter wonderland. Well, why do you hate when people enjoy the holiday season? Nah, it's not like that. It's not like that. It's just, does it have to, I don't care about the decorations, it's just the music everywhere. What I would love is, okay, so there's 1 month where we listen to Christmas songs related to Christmas. I'll accept it, okay? I'll live with it, but you have to follow it up with a month where the only thing that's played in public is Straight Outta Compton. Why do you hate Straight Outta Compton? It's a landmark album. It would help people appreciate the raw political message that can sometimes be present in popular music. Oh, a month is too long? After several years, wouldn't you get tired of hearing express yourself or F the police? Well, wouldn't you get tired of hearing silver bells? No, it's a classic. SpongeBob. That is my curse. The ability to do a 7 out of 10 Squidward impression, having seen one episode of SpongeBob SquarePants in my whole life. I do think people make too much about the idea that, you know, our generation has a lack of personal responsibility. But I do think, you know, for these particular things, you make a joke about eating glass. You know. You don't feel like you have to apologize for it. I went to one of Kate's performances. I was like, this didn't make me a popular person at dinner afterwards, but Kate did a Christmas concert with the symphony. Maybe you've heard of it. And in between the pieces of the symphony, by the way, if anybody out there has to, like, if you're part of a family that has to watch the Messiah concert every single year, oh my God, you have my mercy. I saw the Messiah performed once when Kate was in university. Everyone knows, you know, what's so bad about the, you know, hallelujah, hallelujah. No, you don't understand. That's the best part by a factor of 1,000. The rest of it is like hymnal opera. Every valley shall be exalted, shall be exalted, and it just repeats over and over. And every valley, and it's like 20 minutes of this dude go, every valley, and all the rough spots made plain, and every valley, and you're like, yeah, I know. Shall be what? Shall be exalted? No kidding. Yeah, I got it when you said it the first 40 times. But anyway, so she has to play in part of that. And she's of the same opinion on this one. She's no fan of the Messiah concert. I had to watch the whole Messiah concert once. It's like 3.5 hours long, and every single one is like, you know, it's the same thing. You know how people complain about musicals, and they go like, hey, you know, I've grown to like musicals, or at least tolerate them a little more as I've gotten older. But when I was younger, I definitely had the opinion that was like, you know, why does every musical have to start with people talking like about their day, but they're not talking, they're singing? It's always like, oh, I'm going downtown to the newspaper shop, and oh, what's this? Hey, Timmy, hi, Jim. And it's, you know, it just is like, it's such a rigmarole just to have a conversation. That's the Messiah, but written in like 1850, and just repeating the same words over and over. And the hills made lo 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 lo. Anyway, in between the performances, and thankfully this one is just the highlights, so you actually only get the good stuff. But this dude who is he's like a local Vancouver celebrity, but not anybody you would know. Even if you lived here, you probably wouldn't know him. But it's not like Michael Bublé, is what I'm trying to say. Oh my God, it's a Tears upgrade, thankfully. He is like an MC, so he reads stories in between. And he read a story that like made me roll my eyes so much. He's able to get away with it because every one of these concerts is 75 years old. And that's not an exaggeration or meant to be a judgment. But, you know, he read a poem. I don't know if he wrote it, but it was about how like it's really hard to be Santa these days because everybody wants gifts that are gluten-free, and you gotta get the girls the same things as the guys, and well, this fictional character's life is so hard because of political correctness gone crazy. And then at the end, he's playing the role of Santa in the song, and he's going, this time I remembered I got goat head, by the way. He goes, I'll give them a gift that will fill them with mirth, inoffensive to all. Please enjoy. And he held on the word for like what felt like 3 hours. Peace on earth. And the whole song, or the whole audience, I mean to say, went, ooh, wow, what a touching poem. And my cynicism is already leaking. But wow, he baited us in with the humor, and the millennials these days they eat more vegetables than we do. They care about the environment and don't want to be wasteful. And then at the end, he's like, whoa, peace on earth, a social message. And I was just in the audience like, you coward.
I was so, and I'm not doing a great job of getting my point across. But I was like, this is the most intellectually dishonest poem I've heard in my entire life. I guess we don't really need a Joker card. The whole thing is like, you know, do you think people are complaining just because they like to complain? Well, yes, sometimes. I mean, that's pretty much my reason d'etre. But simultaneously, you know, is like, the parents don't want their kids to have candy. Bleh. Yeah, maybe they don't want their kids to have candy because, like, you know, 1 in 6 people in Canada has, like, adult onset diabetes, you know? It's not like they're just complaining to necessarily feel special. And then at the end of the song, he's like, won't somebody think of Santa, the fictional character? And then Santa, he's the bigger man. He goes, well, I can't give you toys anymore. I guess I'll give you peace on Earth. Hey, Santa, if you could have given us peace on Earth, maybe, you know, before the First World War would have been a good time for that, instead of giving everybody in England a single tangerine. Okay? I'm just throwing it out there. The poem doesn't make any sense. Moreover, it goes out of its way to be mean-spirited towards basically my generation, who, by the way, you know, bought my own ticket. No offense taken. You know, at the start of the show, the guy goes, oh, these concerts are made possible by a generous grant by, you know, blah man and blah lady. And I go, that's cool. What about the generous $45 ticket that I purchased to be here? Apparently, I'm just a piece of garbage because I want to eat an avocado. And I must not want peace on Earth either. There's something about, if you look at it in just simply the superliminal text, essentially he is saying, you know, now that Santa has to treat everybody equal and it's such a chore, there's peace on Earth. So thank you for that, at least. I mean, I don't even espouse the beliefs that you were maligning over the course of the poem. It's just too easy, is all I'm saying. Work harder. And then when the audience went, ooh, it's like, is it that easy? You just make a poem and resolve it with like the most obvious platitude of all time? You know what would have been brave is if he ended and had Santa giving people like the middle finger. Everybody wants peace on Earth. There's like 4 monsters on Earth that are like, oh, war is good. You gotta work harder than that to get me. Hit me with that Aldous Huxley ending or something, even though I didn't think the rest of the book necessarily was, you know, that fantastic. Beautifully written, shocking ending. Instead is a, well, the world's got a lot of problems in it today, but I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Oh my God, so brave. Anyway, I'm being a little bit needlessly mean-spirited. It's the same as the Christmas Shoes song, which, you know, is not my bit. It's a Patton Oswalt bit that I happen to also independently experience because of the fact that it was sung every year at a school assembly, the high school Malfin I went to, where it's just like the most like feel-good but substanceless art ever created. And that just falls apart under the slightest scrutiny. You're gonna tell me there's like a 7-year-old there, she's trying to buy some shoes, and then the heartless shop owner is like, sorry, you're 15 cents short. But then, through the kindness of strangers, somebody reaches into their pocket and pulls out like a $2 bill with Bill Clinton's face on it. They hand it to the cashier, and then you're like, there is good in the world. The whole song, instead of being like, you know, Mister, can I buy these shoes for my mama, please? It's Christmas Eve and these shoes are just her size. It should, the rest of the song at that moment should take a turn, and it should be like, and the bowels of hell opened up, and the shopkeeper was sucked down, and you're like have some artistic courage, okay? I don't respect this. It's just like feel good for feel good's sake. And I don't mean that to be overly ridiculously negative. Like, I love happy endings and I love movies that are feel good experiences, but you gotta work for it. You gotta put in some sort of, there's gotta be something that makes it feel good. Otherwise, it's just kind of boring. I think. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, you can maybe find the poem for yourself, but I shouldn't feel the need to defend myself. I want to speak for the people out there that are not outwardly in high spirits during Christmas, but like Christmas nonetheless, because I feel like we're always under the gun. In the eyes of someone who loves Christmas, there's only two kinds of people in the world. There's people who love Christmas and Scrooges. And if you're not someone who's outwardly like, it's December 1st, I want to put the tree up, oftentimes people think you're a Scrooge. And if you're the kind of person who's like me and is like, if I never hear we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, that would be totally fine. You get labeled as a Scrooge, and that's not the case. It's my favorite holiday season of the year. The winter holidays are always, it's when you get the most time off from work. And even though I work in a job where, if I wanted to, I could, work through the holiday season and then take a couple of weeks off in January instead, is when the people, in my family get the most time off as well. So it's one of my favorite times of the year because I get to, get an extended period of time with my family who lives across the country. And this time they're coming here, which is way better for me, selfishly. But because December 1st rolls around and we're not going like, oh, hey, get It's a Wonderful Life on the VCR. People like me, and there are dozens of us, we get labeled as some kind of Ebenezer Scrooge, oh, where's your holiday spirit sort of folks. It's not fair. There are people, there are people who are Scrooges. They don't like the holiday season at all, and that's fine too. It's not really any of my business. And then there's people for whom the holidays are a particularly hard time, and that's valid as well. I'm just speaking for those of us who, as a result of not being outwardly positive about everything related to Christmas, we gotta fight the notion that we're Tim Allen from Christmas with the Cranks at all opportunities. Like, I watched Christmas with the Cranks. It's a terrible movie. It is bad enough to be so bad it's good. If you're into those kind of movies, I would recommend watching it because it's just baffling to watch all of these professionals have to pretend that they're acting in a serious movie. Not a serious movie in that, there's real things that happen in it, but a serious movie as in like one that's made to be successful and tell a story. Yo, this is insanely good. Regardless. Tim Allen is painted as a total jerk in that movie. What's his sin? Instead of throwing a Christmas party, his daughter's away at like her first year of college or something like that. He's like, what if we went on a cruise instead? We've never gone on a vacation together, just you, me, and nobody else. And he's painted as the bad guy in that movie. Now, he does do some other stuff in that movie that is not... he willfully ices the sidewalk outside of the front of his house so that Christmas carolers and other well-wishers and revelers will slip. That strikes me as something that, honestly, has legal recourse for him to be quite concerned. So, Luther Crank, please expect to hear a call from my attorney at some point in the fictional Marvel universe. But, I'll go out and say, I like the holiday season a lot. I like Christmas. There's a couple things related to Christmas I'm not such a huge fan of. Most Christmas movies, there are a couple of exceptions. Here's the way, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Can't remember if that's a Christmas or a Thanksgiving movie, but I'm inclined to include American Thanksgiving as in the rough time frame of Christmas. I think that's like my favorite Christmas movie ever made. Now, what about A Christmas Story? Used to love it. Have seen it probably... I used to watch it every year, and that's part of the reason I don't like it so much anymore. And then beyond that, there came a point after having watched it every year where the television network known as CBS... we'll hold that, I guess. The television network known as TBS... Did I say CBS? I meant TBS. Started doing 24-hour marathons of A Christmas Story every Christmas Day. And I would go to my grandparents' house, and they would just have the TV on to TBS all day. So if watching a movie 20 times by the time you're 18, that's enough to make you sort of hate it, maybe. And then, although it didn't do that for Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, but, regardless, be that as it may. Try watching it, ambiently, in bits and pieces, Rashomon style, like maybe as many as 6 or 7 times within a single day. You know, that, and it's not fair to the movie, but the context surrounding the movie has kind of ruined it for me. And, you know, there's Scrooged. Scrooged is fine. Elf, I think, is pretty good. Bad Santa, for the more subversive amongst us. Not so much for the kiddos, but you get the idea. You know, there's some okay ones. But I reserve most of my ire for Christmas music, because I really think that most Christmas music is dated and not very good and repetitive and hasn't changed the playlist at all since, you know, 1971, except to add Mariah Carey's modern classic, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Actually, that's not, some of them now, they used to ironically play Last Christmas by Wham, but now they like unironically play Last Christmas. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and the very next day, you gave it away. Anyway, you get the idea. The worst part of Christmas for me is Christmas music. Decorations, oh, the stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon will be there. Boughs of holly everywhere, fa la 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 la. It's just having to endure every retail establishment on earth. And if you work in a retail establishment, I feel so much worse for you. Unless you're a Christmas lover, in which case, you know, it probably rules, right? I'm just saying. No other genre of music gets a whole month where it owns the airwaves. And if I was to choose one on merit alone, it would not be Christmas music. But I'm trying not, again, not a Grinch. Holiday itself, no problem. I don't even have a problem with the commercialization of the holiday itself, you know? When I was a kid, people would be like, I hate gift cards. And I was like, yeah, me too. And then when I got a gift card, I was like, thank God it's a gift card. I can buy whatever I want. I do think gift certificates are... I don't want to buy gift certificates for anyone in my family, but I did like receiving them, I'll admit. I would have rather just received cash, which I think is the principal argument against gift cards. Although I guess there is an argument now, isn't there? Like if your kid is like, I want V-Bucks, you're going to give them a gift card for the Epic store, right? You're not going to give them... what are they going to do with $50? They're going to go to the bank and then put it in their bank account and set up an e-transfer to get $50 worth of V-Bucks? Seems a little bit ridiculous. I guess there are some situations in which it makes sense. I'll admit. Amnesia. We still got one more item room to find, don't we? I believe so. But, you know, when I was a youngster, we didn't have these fancy digital distribution services, so you would get a gift certificate for HMV, a record store. And you would go in and be like, I got a $20 gift certificate to HMV. How much is the new Wilco album? And they would be like, $65, because we only sell, you know, one copy a year. And you'd be like, okay. Sometimes, though, you could really make your money work, because, like, they used to have these, like, 2 for $10 deals. And CDs were expensive, man. If you didn't have to interface much with purchased music in that era, you were, consider yourself lucky. You know, you like a Backstreet Boys song on the radio, the CD is going to cost you $20. Canadian, at least. I had a lot of really, really good albums in that 2 for $10 sale. Talking Heads, Remain in Light, The Who, Who's Next, My Bloody Valentine, Loveless. There must have been one more. I can't remember what it was, but it was definitely from the Pitchfork Pantheon. Maybe Rumors by Fleetwood Mac. That seems to be roughly appropriate for this section. Anyway, I was okay with gift certificates. I guess there is one advantage that nobody wants to talk about from getting about giving a gift certificate as a gift, which is that at the end of the day, it is slightly more personal than just giving money. If you give them a nice gift that they like, you know, that's the best, I guess. But if you don't know what to get them, but you at least kind of know what they're into, it's slightly more personable. Like, I mean, here's the thing. When I was 15, I saw my uncle and aunt, like, you know, on my dad's side at least, I saw them like once or twice a year, and I was 15 years old. You know, they got their own stuff going on in their lives, and we're not a particularly close-knit, like, extended family, although we, you know, we're still family. We don't hang out every weekend or anything like that. So what are you supposed to do? You know, you're like, hey, you're a teenager. You probably like music, right? Here you go. Here's a gift certificate to HMV. Now, what they could have done is just bought nothing, but that's not the way. It's a whole thing. If you're not on that side of the fence, it's well, what if we don't get them a gift? We have to make sure that everybody else isn't getting them a gift. Otherwise, like, maybe they'll carry the scars of not receiving a gift for the rest of their lives. I mean, we had to deal with it. You know, we bought our nieces like birthday presents. I hate it. This room is so bad for me. You know, it's stressful. You don't understand, like, or you probably do more than I do, actually. I got a pretty small extended family, but, you know, it's stressful to buy gifts for a child because, you know, adults are rational. And if you get a gift for an adult, first off, most of the time, they're going to say you didn't have to do that. Kids are not like that most of the time. You know, they're like, yeah, it's my birthday. Where's my gift? Even if they don't outwardly say it in their head, they're like, yeah, this whole thing is just a prelude to the gift-giving part. So, you know, and then adults are like, it's awesome. It's just what I wanted. Kids are not like that. You know, when we gave... it was my older niece's birthday, but we had to get them both something. So we got one of them 4 Hatchimals. We got the older one 4 Hatchimals. Or no, we got her 2 Hatchimals, but they were like top tier, super like high chance loot box Hatchimals. And then we got like 4 little baby cheapo Hatchimals for our other niece, who's like 3 years old. And then the first thing she said was, why does, you know, my younger sister get 4 and I get 2? And we had to be like, am I really gonna... I almost, like, I looked at the parents, you know, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and I was like, do you want us to answer that question? Because it seems like I should just... Like, you should tell her to just be polite. I'm not gonna tell you how to raise your kids, but I feel like in an ideal world, if I was in that situation, the first thing I would say would not be like, well, you see, her Hatchimals are not as high tier as yours. The first thing I would say is, you know, hey, you should be grateful they gave you any Hatchimals. You've only existed on this planet for like 1/9 of their lifespan. And you know, they were fully formed adults before they ever knew you. They don't know anything about your personality except you share 12.5% of their genetic material. I wouldn't, of course, say those things. And moreover, I'm sure when you're a parent, you're like, you know, I got to pick my battles. I wasn't offended. I was more like, will they be offended if I explain why, you know, you got 2 Hatchimals and your sister got 4 Hatchimals? I feel like I wouldn't want a stranger, or not a stranger, but, you know, an extended part of the family to, like, enable my child to exhibit that kind of behavior. I'm not going to hold it against the child. First off, you know, they're like 6. Secondarily, well, it's not like I even wanted to get you a birthday present anyway. I'm just saying. You get what I mean? I'm not trying to be particularly insulting to this child. I'm just saying. It's kind of a question that I feel like my parents would have been like, you know, if you asked that comes across as ungrateful. And then that would have put a stamp on my personality that exists still to this day. And is, to be honest with you, maybe it's better in the modern era, you know? Maybe it's better that she can ask, you know, what the purpose of the gift is and the value of the gift. Because for me, I've been so, like, hard-coded to be outwardly appreciative of every gift. And I'm sure this is very relatable. And I'm not being sarcastic. But, like, I now hate receiving gifts because I'm always worried, not about what I'm going to receive. That's like tertiary in my head. My primary concern is, will they believe that I'm actually appreciative of the gift, or are they going to think that I'm acting?
Normal people do think about this. I know that you're like, normal people don't think about that. No, trust me. Normal people do think about that. That's like when people are like, what can we, get you for Christmas, your birthday, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, please get me nothing. Because by getting me nothing, you're getting me the gift of not worrying about whether the thing that you got me was something I actually needed. Plus, I do not need anything. But beyond that, it's the act that scares me. Or is anxiety-inducing. So you know what? Good on you, girl. Ask why your sister gets 4 Hatchimals and you get 2. The answer is you got some premier Hatchimals. You don't understand, but you got some golden packs, and your sister got those bronze packs. She can't even get the top tier, platinum, pink diamond level LeBron James that you're capable of. And here's the thing: in the end, they're all just like less than 5 cents of plastic. Every single one of them is just plastic. So let me take that nihilism a step further. It's all inherently meaningless. The value of the Hatchimal is the struggle you go through to open the Hatchimal, and the thrill of not knowing what's inside. What's inside is secondary, my dear, to the fact that you opened it in the first place.
I hear the sleigh bells singing and eat my ding-a-ling too.
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Probably the one where he wants to stay in the warmness with the lady.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, that's the one.
Baby, it's cold outside.
How?
I swear.
What about the one?
We don't like that? Wait, what? What? Is that awful too somehow?
It has connotations, but I think the connotations are largely based on not understanding going up to take a look at somebody's etchings in the 1950s.
What does he say in the song?
Well, the most troubling line for sure is when she says, "Say what's in this drink." That's when.
That's pretty weird, yeah. But that just means that there's rum in the eggnog,
Or maybe she's got an allergy to nutmeg.
Yeah, and she's she's going into anaphylactic shock.
I see those sleigh bells ring-a-ling, ding-ding-ding-a-ling too.
I think the only Christmas songs I like are songs that you can listen.
No, it's lovely weather too.
They're not
together with you.
specifically about Christmas. Like the most wonderful time of the year. That's an okay song.
That's a pretty good time.
The most wonderful time.
It's It's obviously like about Christmas, but it's not like any song that says Santa. I can't abide.
The dude cannot abide.
All right.
Yeah, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. I do not accept it.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Dude, like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or one of the two tried to push that song so fucking hard for a while, and it was the worst. Oh, Lord. Escape.
Oh, no.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Die Hard.
Okay, sure. I'll allow it.
And it's like the only one that I watch. I used to watch like well, is this like a Christmas movie that you watch every year, or like your favorite Christmas movie?
I would say, there can be two different categories, one of which is like we watch it every year as a tradition, and the other one would be like the one I actually think is the best.
I will always watch Die Hard. I love Die Hard. But there's a real soft spot that I have for Jingle All the Way.
Dude! Ta-ta, turtle man.
Put that cookie down. Yeah.
Jamie!
Yeah.
He knows my name.
I watched a ton of It's a Wonderful Life as a kid growing up with like my mom every year, so that was kind of our thing.
Is that the one where he gets visited
in order
by...
that we're gonna start watching Die Hard.
You've never seen It's a Wonderful Life?
He gets visited by the 3 ghosts that are like...
No, that's a Christmas Carol.
If there was no zinc,
He gets visited by like the angel.
One ghost. Oh yeah, he's an angel.
Spoilers. It's very good. We watch that most years.
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation's up there. Christmas Story.
Christmas Story. I'm gonna say it.
Bad.
Played out.
It's not. What?
It's just played out.
Oh, I mean, I actually do kind of agree with you. I've seen it so many times.
I've seen it enough for one lifetime.
On this one.
Once in a lifetime.
Oh, water flowing underground, brother. I know what you're saying. Don't have to tell me twice.
It's a little windy, huh?
Is that can that be your fall band? Talking Head. Fall?
I do love Talking Heads. Oh, I mean, dude, we're talking.
Talking Heads, fallen leaves, baby.
Fallen leaves on the ground.
Oh shit.
No,
Billy
what's my favorite Christmas movie? I can't say it without thinking of Peg by Steely Dan. But it's your favorite Christmas movie. Anyway, you know, still summertime, probably for like a day.
Yeah, like literally.
Hey, Apollo,
I've seen any Christmas movies.
did you know today is the 21st night of September, Apollo?
Do you remember?
Just checking.
The 21st night of September.
There's a guy who uploads like one video every year.
I saw it.
I saw it. It was very good this year.
Good, isn't it? Yeah.
It was very good.
Okay, I just want to make sure that was the thing. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any Christmas movies.
No, you have.
Elf?
Yeah, Home Alone.
Oh, I've seen Elf.
I knew this
I haven't seen Elf.
motherfucker had seen Elf.
Have you seen Home Alone? Home Alone might be a good.
You've never seen Home Alone?
Seen Home Alone.
All right, for the 746th time, I don't watch movies.
Yeah, but that's one that you don't have to watch. You see.
No, I just no, I haven't seen it.
You should watch The
Haven't seen
Matrix, though. It's a Christmas movie.
Back to back. The Matrix, Home Alone.
Good combo. Oh no, I have seen another Christmas movie. Fuck, what's it called? It's one that was like supposed to be bad and might not be good, but I think people kind of liked it. Like
Christmas Vacation.
A weird Christmas movie with
4 Christmases.
No, it's 2 neighbors fighting, and then the like
Grumpy Old Men.
The daughter comes home.
Grumpy Old Man.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Grumpy Old
Maybe.
Man.
I think that actually
It
is.
sounds
That
like
sounds
one of
like
those
Christmas
two.
with the Cranks, dude.
Yeah, no, the Christmas with the Cranks isn't good.
That movie is
It's really bad.
extremely horrible.
I actually rewatched it last
told that
Christmas.
I remember hearing that it was supposed to be bad. Everyone thought it was bad, but then like recently, it's like, you know, it actually wasn't that bad.
Maybe it is.
I don't know why
Christmas.
It cannot be Christmas with the Cranks then. You would, even as a child, you would be like, "There's no fucking way."
We watched it last Christmas for the first time in many years, and I was like, "Yeah, this is."
It's extremely bad.
I'm using a 5-wood.
Same, brother.
I don't give a frick.
Maybe this will kick left.
So the plot of Christmas with the Cranks is that this boys.
Yes, sir.
I was a micrometer.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Their daughter goes to college and she loves Christmas. So Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis are like, she's away. We can go on a cruise instead.
Okay, that's the movie. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and then the daughter comes back. She's like, I'm coming home and I'm bringing my boyfriend. And they're like, oh, shit, we got to get the whole house set up as soon as possible.
Who's the boyfriend?
I didn't think it was that bad.
I think the boyfriend is, he's a little foreign, which is another thing that Tim Allen... I'm trying to tease apart whether it's Tim Allen in the movie or Tim Allen in real life that would have a problem with that. And I'm still on the fence.
It might be both.
Here's a second shot on this 5th hole.
Spicy.
I like the part where the homeless guy was Santa at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back on the fairway.
It is pretty weird, though, like, because,
This is what our
you
third
know,
shot's looking like.
I mean, you know.
What do I know?
I mean, it's like the whole town kind of, like, looks down on him. And then at the end, they're like, you're Santa Claus, huh? It's like, it's not really, like, a great feel-good message.
Is it even a message at all?
I don't know what... It's
Santa
just
Claus is homeless.
It's just, like, a weird thing for me where they're like, hey, you know that guy that you thought was homeless? Well, guess what? Actually, he's Santa. And I'm like, well, why doesn't he live at the North Pole then?
Where the hell's Mrs. Claus at?
Dead.
I just don't know what your problem with it is. Like, I don't think it's really a message at all.
It's not earned, in my opinion. It's not earned, and it's not artful.
He brings the ham. I like that part.
He does bring it
Brenda likes
because
ham.
because she wanted the last canned ham in the grocery store, but she couldn't get it. There was a big like in every Christmas.
You
movie.
remember more of this movie than I do. I feel like
I watched it like maybe 2 years ago for the first time.
I think we're heading to the sand.
It's
tradition.
Out of here.
Even though I put this about 6 years to the right, I'm still going into the sand trap.
3 feet to the hole here.
I don't know. Oh wait, I might be thinking of Donkey Dunk 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 Donkey Dunk. That one's
Dunk, dunk, dunk,
yeah.
dunk. That's the flight of the sugar plum fairies.
It is the dance of the sugar plum fairies.
They're flying in this one.
They do. I mean, they're fairies, so they fly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, this course, dude.
Genesis.
Oh, I bolstered! Bullshit! You guys got a square on yours? I hate that square.
I do have a square on mine.
Ugh.
Oh, we should do. We haven't done it in a while. We'll do like let's make our own Christmas movie right now.
Okay.
So Dave Bautista. Okay.
And Mel Gibson.
And Mel Gibson. They both live in the woods. Their former Eagle
They have one. They have a
Scouts.
shared ex-lover. They are Eskimo brothers with
Inuit brothers, please. But okay.
Jennifer
Sorry.
Gardner.
With Jennifer Gardner.
That's
Nice.
not her name, or maybe she's.
I said Garner.
Hey, can I hit you with the title of this movie?
Yes.
Because it would be very patriotic, and as you said, they were both special forces.
No, I said the Eagle Scouts.
All right, let's make them special forces, and then we could call it Red, White, and Green, because it's like Christmas colors, but also America.
Yep. And military.
Yep. Red, White, and Green.
And Mexico.
They come home, right?
Okay.
What happens next?
So yeah, they got to come out of the woods.
So they're in the woods?
They're in the
Yeah,
woods.
they live in the
lost.
woods.
They
They're
live in the woods.
they're like super Navy SEALs.
The Attorney General issued a directive to them to shoot down Santa's sleigh with the shoulder-mounted rocket launcher.
Dave Bautista, he's on his way.
I like
he's
where
his
this is
current
going, actually.
Jennifer Gardner's boyfriend. He's going to see her, but he got trapped with Mel Gibson, her former lover.
No, they used to be in the same unit.
You can see my unit.
And then so
Their chopper
in one
went
of the
down.
missions it went bad, and they put Jennifer. They said if you ever live in the city again, we're gonna kill your girlfriend. So
what?
He had to go live in the woods with Mel Gibson, and Jennifer Gardner's like, I can't take it anymore.
What?
Yeah.
So then they're gonna meet on top of Mount Everest, and they're gonna take.
I don't
out-
like this movie.
This takes place in
the
Tibet.
forest on Mount
The
No.
forests of Tibet.
They gotta go to the forest of.
Do they
Tibet.
live there?
They
I thought they lived there.
in
You said they lived in
Bulgaria. I thought that was clear.
Okay,
Oh, so they
okay.
live near Mount Everest.
Mel Gibson, Dave Bautista, and a host of other actors that you recognize their faces but don't know their names are on a hiking trip in the Urals, and then one night they tent and they camp, but then they're never heard from again. And then
They find the bones, but they're like the clothes. They're not wearing clothes.
yeah, one of them's
Yeah.
missing their tongue, two of them are
Yeah.
missing eyeballs,
Like
and
three
then
of them are off a cliff.
yeah, and then like Sean Connery plays like the
A dragon.
the Soviet dragon
dragon.
who flies
Soviet
over
dragon.
to
That's
get,
his nickname. He's the dragon.
He's Ivan Ivanilov, the Soviet dragon.
That's
Yes.
what happened at the Love Pass. They got murdered by a dragon.
Exactly.
And then Captain Raymond Holt, aka Velvet Thunder, comes in.
Andre Braugher, played by Andre Braugher.
Yes. And then he arrests the
Dragon.
nuclear dragon. Yeah.
Nuclear dragon. Yeah. Okay.
No.
And then they get footage of Sean Connery, and he's like in an elevator in a Los Angeles hotel, and he's like freaking out, but he's yelling at somebody, but you can't see anybody on the video. But then later they find his body in the water tower at the
Yeah,
on the roof.
but
of
it's
the
not his
hotel.
body; it's his skin, because he's actually a super alien wearing a human skin.
He's actually a dragon.
Yeah, I thought he was the dragon.
He's actually a
alien dragon.
staircase. He's actually a staircase in the middle of the forest that doesn't seem to go anywhere, but still compels people to walk across it. Anyway,
Somehow got a birdie on that. Yeah, that sounds like a trash movie. I hate it.
Yeah, I like the start of it, and then it lost me.
I like how at the start it was two dudes fucking in a forest and it ends
They
with the
were.
dragon
They're ex-unit.
alien murdering
They're an
everyone on
ex-unit.
Mount Rushmore.
Jennifer
Like
Gardner.
this is a kaiju. Can we make a kaiju Christmas movie? Is there a Godzilla that happens during Christmas?
Kaiju Christmas movie.
Dude, a very kaiju Christmas.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah.
It's got to exist.
It sounds like one of those things that would have been the top post on Reddit in 2009. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I keep hearing like a bird sound. I know you're like, didn't my hand smell like something? Oh, no, I smelled cat pee like a couple episodes ago. I never solved that problem, by the way. The aroma went away. I really think I had a phantom smell. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes there's like, you know, do you smell that? No, I don't. And you're like, how can you not smell that? It's a 10 out of 10 smell of like delicious rotisserie chicken. You know, you got me thinking now. But then it turns out there's nothing. That was the capstone to that bit. You got me thinking now. I wonder what I'm going to do for, like, Christmas dinner. Normally, like, it's not a huge deal necessarily. You know, I mean, growing up, I'll tell you, there's turkey people, there's ham people, there's tofurkey people, I guess. Which is kind of silly. Like, I still, if you're a vegetarian, I don't think you're eating tofurkey on Christmas. Aren't you just eating like a delicious stew or something like that? Like, I hate the idea that like, you know, all the normal people are eating hamburgers, but don't worry, we'll get you like a weird tempeh burger or something. No, just give me like, can I just have like a samosa or something? I can bring my own samosas. That's what I did for Thanksgiving. There was one year where I was vegetarian. I went to my grandparents' house for Thanksgiving. And they were like, we know you're vegetarian, so we got you like some frozen samosas. And you know what? I was stoked. Were they as delicious as the turkey? No, they weren't, but I was making a stand, okay? They were still good. I mean, I'll relish any opportunity to have a samosa. This is a little spooky. Doesn't have to be, and now it's not spooky, but... Okay, it's still a little spooky. Just kill him and then get out. Thank you, thank you. And that helps as well. But my family, we have been, like, for each of the holidays, let's say Easter, turkey, or Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, we're turkey. We don't do, like, ham one day, turkey the other 2 days, etc., etc. So normally for Christmas dinner, you know, growing up, we would have turkey. Fair enough. Historically, you know, since I've lived in Vancouver, you know, for two people, turkey is not really an efficient meal. You can do it, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's pretty involved. You know, and you end up, I mean, like, if you've gone to, like, a 10-person Thanksgiving event, you know there's leftovers. So, like, imagine those leftovers when there's two people. Now, I don't mind eating turkey sandwiches, you know, for a month afterwards, but there's kind of like a knock-on effect, right? Like, you know, we don't have a huge family, for one. Then we also don't have a big freezer because we don't have a ton of space. So, you know, you get to the point where you're like, is the juice worth the squeeze on the turkey stuff? I don't know. This year I do kind of find myself craving, like, in advance. It's 2 weeks in advance of it, but I still kind of find myself craving, like, a, you know, a bird plus mashed potatoes plus stuffing sort of meal. You can get, like, I don't know, it's, Christmas dinners are not made for two people situations, you know? You can get, like, catered Christmas dinners, but they're always, like, insanely expensive. At least the ones that I've seen are insanely expensive for, you know, the amount of food you get, which is fair. You know, you are basically asking someone to handle it for you. So you pay a premium for that, but at the same time, it puts the food into a position where, like, don't get me wrong, I think turkey's pretty underrated. I think most of the people who say turkey's, like, always dry or, like, leathery, they just haven't eaten a good turkey. You know, or let me put it this way, they've eaten turkey that's cooked improperly or suboptimally. But even then, like, I hate to say it, sometimes kind of like a dry turkey. It's like its own different beast. Like, I always think of steak. I think I'm okay with this. I think of steak. And, like, my dad, when he cooks steak... Have we gone in here? We probably have. Let's not risk it. My dad, when he cooks steak, he cooks it typically on like a charcoal barbecue, and he's like, how do you want it? And you say whatever you want to say. It's coming out well done, right? I don't blame him. Like, it's hard to have, and you might disagree if you're insanely grill pilled, but it's fairly difficult to have great temperature control on a charcoal grill or a propane barbecue, right? It's not impossible. It's not as hard as cooking it like literally over an open flame, I guess, but is harder than, you know, using a stove, for example. I'm willing to do it here. I'm willing to do it. So I like my steak like medium rare. I know it's a rarity, the most common and popular amount of steak doneness. But then I almost consider it like two different foods. There's like steak. If I'm at a nice steakhouse, I would be like, can I have that medium rare, please? And then there's like, you know, my dad's barbecued steaks. They're a different beast. They're well done. But they kind of, you know, they're more of a vessel for sauce, and I don't evaluate them on the same criteria, you know, for a number of different reasons. One of which is, you know, it was cooked with love, right? Well, thought we would get our key back, but no such luck. That's kind of how I feel about turkey. Like, you can have amazing turkey that does not need the gravy. Sometimes you bite into that first piece, and you're like, you know what? It's dry. Give me the gravy. But you still enjoy it, because it's like, it tastes like Thanksgiving. That's the way I choose to look at it. But anyway, long story short, I haven't figured out what we're going to do yet. Obviously, it's kind of an aberrant year in that sense. Yeah, I don't really know. All I'm getting at is like 2 to 3 people, kind of an awkward number for a Thanksgiving, for a Christmas, for a etc. For a day traditionally associated with a big family feast. Actually, like in Vancouver, what we've mostly done is like, you know, we'll make like a dinner reservation for that day or the day before, and we'll go out to a place where you can like order a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. But obviously that's not in the cards this year. And by Thanksgiving, I mean Christmas, but again, in my household, they're the same thing. Sorry, I was caffeinating there. Not the same day, but the same principle. I honestly have long been a proponent, like, as someone who is a-religious, like, Easter, Thanksgiving, and Christmas are essentially, past the age of like 20, are the same day. As a kid, it's a little different. You know, Thanksgiving and Easter are exactly the same, except maybe you get some chocolate on Easter. But Christmas, of course, is like the granddaddy of all holidays. We don't mind. We don't mind. But as an adult, for sure. I mean, you know what? I should acknowledge the fact that it'll probably change once we start buying gifts for, you know, our kid. You know, then Christmas will take on a different meaning for sure. But as a childless adult in their 20s and early 30s, definitely I was like, Christmas is Easter is Thanksgiving. It's a day where you come together and your grandma says like, hey, I was talking to this relative that, you know, you heard of 12 years ago but have never spoken to, and they've got a kid, and their kid is really interested in doing what you do for a living. So like, is there any advice? Like, is there any easy way to you know, just like start, like, they don't need to be like at the same size as you, but if they could even get to like 50,000 subscribers in like, you know, like a couple of months, that would be pretty amazing for them. Is there any advice I could give them? Yeah, kids, stay in school. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we've reached that point in my life where, you know, it's December the 13th, and all I'm thinking about is like what I'm gonna eat for dinner on December the 25th. Life comes at you fast, man. Used to think it was comical, you know? My mom would be talking up, and she's like, oh, we're going to Quebec City in 6 months. I can't wait to eat like that meat pie again. Now I'm like, you know what? I didn't realize how right she was.